Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to Uyangmiss. This should be day 24. We have one more day left. This video is going to be a big one. In this one, we are finally going to be tackling my eyeshadow palettes. Big palettes, mini palettes. I'm even going to do like the little cream singles because I only have a handful of those. So we're going to include those at the tail end. So let me go ahead and show you what we're working with. So these are all of my palettes. I have not tallied them up yet, so I'm not sure exactly how many I have, but as you can see, there is a lot. What I'm gonna do is go through real quick, count them up, let you know how many there are, and then we will start our collection and declutter. So after adding everything up, I have 196 palettes. That includes big palettes, little palettes, single cream eyeshadows, eyeshadow sticks. So we have a lot. Let's go ahead and get started. We are going to start with ColourPop because as you can see, there is a lot. So we're going to start with our 9-pan palettes first. This one is the Wild Child palette. It's one of the monochromatic ones. This one is so pretty. This is one of the deeper palettes. When they came out with this one, I was so excited because they had finally launched something that would work for someone with a deeper skin tone. It's just a beautiful, deep, warm, neutral palette. All right, this one is Blue Moon. I will be keeping this one as well. It's just a pretty blue monochromatic palette. I'm going to hang on to Baby Got Peach as well. Baby Got Peach is just a really pretty peachy palette. I love this one in the springtime. These two are from the Star Wars collection. You have the Child and then you have the Mandalorian. I will be keeping both of these because I am a collector. The Mandalorian is more on the cool tone side and then the Child has these really beautiful warm tone greens. This is beautiful. Even if this one right here was not Star Wars, I would have gotten it anyway because it's such a beautiful, unique green color story. I'm also going to be keeping my High Tide palette. This one is one of my top 10 palettes of 2021. It's beautiful teal monochromatic palette. So pretty. I'm going to keep Just My Luck, but I think I'm going to go ahead and declutter Or and Out. I have not pulled this one out, I don't think, once since I got this one. This one was part of the tie-dye collection. It's pretty. And there are some really pretty kind of shifty tones in it, like this one right here, but I just don't pull from it. I know that I'm never going to pull from it, so we're going to declutter this one. Let me hanging on to Just My Luck. This is just your really pretty green palette. We're going to hang on to Blown Smoke as well. This one used to be Smoke and Mirrors, but for trademark reasons, they had to change the name. And it's a beautiful black, gray, silvery tone. I don't have anything like this one in my collection, so we're going to keep this. Then we have Cherry Crush. This one, when you look at it, it's very deceptive. It looks like it's a bright red palette, but actually every single shade in here, even the ones that look really red, every shade pulls pink. I was kind of disappointed in this one, so I'm going to go ahead and declutter it. These two I'm going to declutter as well, Blush Crush and Nude Mood. Now, if you've been watching my channel since the very, very beginning, then you know these were the very first palettes I ever reviewed on my channel, so they're kind of sentimental, but I don't pull these. I never, ever, and I mean ever, pull these. Color stories are pretty, but yeah, I am never going to pull these, so we're going to go ahead and declutter these. Last 3 9-pans. This one is Big Poppy. I will be keeping this one. This is a beautiful orangey tone palette. This one is all mattes. And then this one is Little Ray of Sunshine. This one is also an all matte palette, but this one is more on the yellow side. I keep this one as well. And then this one is Coast to Coral. I did like a full video on this palette. This one has some really pretty corally tones, but I think I'm going to declutter it. I haven't pulled it out once since I reviewed it in my video, and I have other palettes with corals that I just like more than this. I do not know which collection these came from, but this is the one where in each palette there was a shade that had a fleur-de-lis. This is the only one that I'm going to be keeping. These 3 I'm going to be decluttering. I tried so hard to make these work, but I don't know what it was, but it felt like the mattes in these just did not blend as well as they do in the bigger palettes. I just had a very difficult time with these 3, so I'm going to be decluttering them. Once again, just a quick reminder, whatever I'm decluttering will either go to my daughter, be donated, or passed on to a friend. I just want to make sure that that's clear. These 4 I'm going to be keeping. These are part of that Hello Kitty Tropical collection. This one is Cocoa Cutie, Pineapple Cake, Teeny Keeny, and Cherry Sweet. These 4 are part of that Valentine's Day collection. I will be keeping all 4 of these. They are just so pretty. Melt for You, 143, Smack, and Too Hot. We have one more 9-pan palette. This one's Cloud Spun. I'm going to be decluttering this one as well. It's an okay pink palette, but I haven't pulled this one out once since I bought it. All right, now we're going to do our 12 to 16 pans. All right, this is the Tinkerbell palette. Sprinkle a little magic. Technically, this is a 9-pan palette, but this is one of the ones that's in the newer, bigger pans. Very, very pretty. Now, I'll be honest, kind of limiting to what you can actually do with this palette, but I love the color story and I love the packaging, so we'll be hanging on to this. I'm also hanging on to At Forest Sight. This was that Raw Beauty Christie collaboration. This one is the Lush Life palette. This one has some gorgeous little rich, deep, almost jewel tones in here. These next four I'm going to be hanging on to. This is Lust for Dusk. This was also in my top 12 palettes of 2021. Really, really pretty. These two are the Hocus Pocus collaboration palettes. This one was Gather Round Sisters. This was the first year, and then this one, Witching Hour, came out this year. Of these two, I like this one the most. I love the tones in this one. This one is just so pretty. This one I don't like as much, but I am going to go ahead and hang on to it for now. These three are the Disney palettes. This one is the Midnight Masquerade Disney Designer. And yes, I will be hanging on to all three. This one is the Princess palette. And this one is Misunderstood. This one is the Villains palette. This one is Sweet Talk. I thought about decluttering this one, but I just really love these really pretty peachy tones in here. I just love pulling this one out for the springtime. These last four I will be hanging on to. This one is the Sailor Moon Pretty Guardian palette. The Mulan palette. This one, the formula is not that great, but I got it specifically for collector's purposes. I love the actual color story. This one is the Limoncello palette. I had a difficult time with this blue here, but overall I thought this is a very pretty, unique color story. And then the last ColourPop palette. This one is the Powerpuff Girls palette. I will be hanging on to this one too. This next stack is my BH Cosmetics palettes, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to be keeping all of these. These two are from the Sweet Shop. You have Orange Sorbet, Cherry on Top. This one is red. Love this one too. This one is the La Vie Dune Prince palette. I think I'm saying that right. It's a collaboration with a YouTuber, I think. I thought this packaging was really pretty, and it's a gorgeous neon color story. These three are the Dance Remix palettes. This one is the 80s. That's what that one looks like. The 90s. And the 2000s. This one is the Lunar New Year palette, the 2021 Edit Year of the Cow. This was also in my top 12 palettes of the year. The press glitters in here are the ones that really surprised me. I'm not normally a press glitter person, but these just kind of stay they stay where you put them at. They do not fall. They do not go anywhere. You don't need a glitter glue. This is a beautiful palette. This one is the Aquamarine palette. This year, BH Cosmetics did a birthstone one where each month they launched a palette based on a birthstone. I am March, Aquamarine, so I got this one strictly because it was my birthstone. It's not the most revolutionary color story, but I do like it. It's going to be a little bit harder to show the big palettes, but this is the Naughty palette. This was from last year's holiday collection, and this one is so special. This year's palette, I think it was something about Mrs. Claus. I didn't like it. But this is what this color story looks like. There are just so many special shades in here. These two right here are glorious. These are my Makeup Revolution palettes, so we're going to go ahead and go through these pretty quickly. I think most of these I'm keeping as well, if not all of them. These two are from the Nightmare Before Christmas collaboration collection. I got these strictly for collecting purposes. I think the actual packaging is great. The color stories, not so much. And this is the Jack Skellington one. But I'm going to keep them strictly for the packaging. I like to display these at Halloween. This one is the Little Mermaid, and this one is the Princess Frog. I love these because they look like books. One side is eyeshadow palettes, one side is a blush palette. The formula in this is just, it's crap. These are not really good, but I got it for this. Same thing with this one, except in this one, the blushes are actually really nice, especially this one on the corner, Mardi Gras. The formula in this one is better than that one, but still not great, but we're keeping it for this. This one is Stay Sassy. This is the Aristocrats. I decluttered the highlighter, but I think I am going to hang on to the eyeshadow palette for now. It's just so cute. This one is one of the color books. This one is the green to blue. I don't really have like a whole lot of green and blue palettes, so I am going to go ahead and hang on to this one for that. But this side is shimmers, and then this side is mattes. Then this one was also in my top 10 palettes of 2021. This is the Kombucha palette. This is an orange lover's dream. I love everything about this palette. All of these palettes came from Hot Topic. Most of these I will be keeping as well. I know that right now looks like I'm not doing very well, but I have a bunch of other palettes that I will be decluttering. These are kind of pretty much my collector's ones. This one is the Love is Eternal palette, Nightmare Before Christmas. The color story is not the most revolutionary, but I got it for this. It's raised. This packaging is just so pretty. This one is the Tiana palette. You guys, this one is stunning. This color story, so pretty. I did a full video with this palette as well. This one is my Hello Kitty palette. I actually have two of these, but I cannot find the other palette anywhere. I have no clue what happened to it, but this is one of the two Hello Kitty palettes. I found the palette. It had actually fallen completely underneath here. I don't know how it got under there, but I did find it after I finished filming the video, so I'm very happy about that. And real quick, this is what this one looks like. This is my Mulan Warrior Reflection palette. I will never give this one up. So pretty. And the shimmers in here are actually really nice. This one right here, very creamy. This one is my Cup of Noodles eyeshadow palette, my ramen noodle palette. This one is so cute. This one is my Supernatural Eternal War Join the Hunt. If you guys know me at all, you know I love Supernatural, and this is actually a very nice color story. The Oogie Boogie palette, pretty browns and orange tones in here. And then these two are my Mulan palettes. Now, this one I have hung on to forever. This is one of the oldest palettes I have in my collection, and I only kept it for the packaging. The formula in this one is god-awful. It is powdery. There is no pigment in here. This one, however, is stunning. The artwork on the front, the formula, the color story, this is beautiful. Now that I have this one, I'm going to go ahead and let this one go. I just realized I forgot my ColourPop large pan. I just realized I forgot my large ColourPop palettes. This one is Stone Cold Fox. This is also in my top 10 palettes of 2021. This one is Your Golden, very pretty kind of neutrally warm color story. And then this one is It's a Mood. This one I thought was really pretty. This row kind of reminds me of High Tide, and I just thought this had some really pretty jewel tones in here. Now for my Juvia's Place palette. Some of these I will be keeping, some of these I will be decluttering. This one is the Sweet Pinks by Juvia's. I'm going to go ahead and hang on to this one. It's a really pretty mini palette. This one I can pull out for like really quick pink looks. I love this one. I'm also keeping Nubian Coral. This is really pretty in the spring and summertime. This one I'm also hanging on to. It's got these beautiful grungy yellows and greens. This one is Nomad. These grungy greens, these grungy yellows. Oh my god, this is a beautiful palette. These two I'm going to declutter. These made it through my last declutter. Yeah, the Warrior 3 and the Zulu. I consider these to be like sister palettes. They're pretty color stories. The issue is that, like the purples in here, I have a difficult time blending in both of these palettes. They're not my favorite rainbows. I have other palettes with other rainbow formulas that I just really like more. I felt like these two palettes as a whole didn't perform as well as I would have liked. I will be keeping Walhalla and Walhalla 2. These are the larger pan palettes. This is the Walhalla 2 and this is the Walhalla 1. We're going to go through my Milani palettes and my Udenzai palettes next. This one is the Ungilded Most Loved Mattes. I just got this one. It's a really pretty warm color story. There are a lot of burnt oranges in here. I love the shade right here. These two I bought for collecting reasons. Very necessary, Hot, Cool, and Vicious. These are the Salt and Pepper palettes. Very necessary. These are made to look like CDs, which I thought was cool, and they're all autographed. This one is Hot, Cool, and Vicious. And then these two are the Milani Halloween palettes. This one is from last year. This one is from this year. This one is the Beautiful Nightmare. This one kind of reminds me of A Nightmare Before Christmas, kind of mixed with Beetlejuice. And then this one is a Haunted Hollow. This one has more purpley red black tones in it. All right, now for Uden's Eye, I will be keeping all three of these palettes. This one is the Alva. That's what that color story looks like. This one came in the mystery box. These two I got on a Black Friday sale. This is the Norns palette, the Three Sisters. All the products from this brand are inspired by Norse mythology. So this is the Three Sisters, and this is the color story. I absolutely love the deep, rich grunginess of this color story. And then this one is Freya, and Freya has an orange tone to it. Oh, orange coral. I love this. We're going to go through this kind of random stack next. These two are from Lottie London. These are the My Little Pony palettes. I just got these. I haven't even opened them. I haven't had a chance to actually use them yet. These two are from LA Colors. I will be decluttering these. This one I used once. This one I haven't used at all. They made it through last year's Declutter. The formula is okay. They're like all shimmer palettes, but I just don't use these. I know I'm never going to use these, so we're going to declutter these. This is my Sugar Pill Fun Size palette. I will definitely be hanging on to this. Really pretty, kind of a pastel rainbow palette. This one I'm going to declutter. This is the Artist Couture Caliente palette. This is usually the type of color story that I would go for, but I've not pulled this out. I haven't used this at all, and I know that I'm just not going to, so we're going to go ahead and let this one go. This one is my other palette from Sugar Pill. This is from the capsule collection. This one was the orange one. Such a beautiful color story. This shade right here, this gorgeous duo kind of chromy blue to green to purple shift. This blush is stunning. This one is my NYX Sabrina Netflix palette. I will also be hanging on to this. I got this specifically for collector's purposes, and I love it. It's designed to look like a spell book. This is the inside cover, and this is what the color story looks like. There are shadows, 2 blushes, and a highlighter. This one is the only Ace Beauté palette that I currently own. This is Nostalgia. Has some oranges and purples and greens in here. Very pretty, kind of a tropical color story. These are my Alamar Cosmetics palettes. This one is the Disney Encanto. This is the newest one to my collection. This is in collaboration with the animated film, and it is beautiful. Look at this glorious color story. I love it. And then this one is Spanglish. This one came out of a BoxyCharm. Also very, very pretty. All of these are collaboration palettes with Ulta Cosmetics. These 3 I'm going to be decluttering. It breaks my heart. These are part of the WandaVision collection. I grabbed these because I am a huge Marvel fan, and so I was very excited to see that they'd collaborate with WandaVision. I love Scarlet Witch, but these just weren't it. This one kind of reminds me of Iron Man on the cover. This is what this color story looks like. And this is a 3rd one. I just felt like they didn't try. It just felt like they just threw something together. This one I will be keeping. This was the collaboration with Black Widow. This one is stunning. Everything from the packaging. This is what this color story looks like, and this formula is absolutely beautiful. I'm going to declutter this one as well. This was my Gryffindor palette. I love Harry Potter. I really do. But with all the J.K. Rowling nonsense, I stopped purchasing Harry Potter merchandise because I just refused to put money in her pocket. This one was okay. Just not a huge fan of this overall color story, and I never pull it out. So I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. This one is from the Balm. This is the Alternative Rock palette. This one is a face and eyeshadow palette. It's really, really pretty. I love this color story. This bronzer even looks pretty on me. This one is Wildflower. This is a curated palette I got from Shop Miss A. These are all singles. This one I'm going to be decluttering. This is Trace Loose. This one came in a BoxyCharm. It is a pretty neutral palette. I have tried it once. I don't know, I was not very thrilled with the formula, but it's a pretty color story, not horrible, just not for me. These 2 are my Urban Decay palettes. This one is the OG Born to Run. I will be hanging on to this. I just think this is such a pretty color story. This one is the Naked Cherry. This one was actually a gift from my husband. This one is the Raw Beauty Christie X Pure collaboration. This one is double-sided. So you have a colorful color story on this side. And then on the other side, there is a neutral color story. This one is the Boss Babe Glam Palette from Trim Beauty. I got this from Shop Cherry. This is a really beautiful, warm, bronzy, neutral color story. This one I'm going to be decluttering. This is a vegan palette. I got this from Shop Miss A. It's part of Smoke and Mirrors. It was Five Below. It's not a horrible palette. The color story is okay, but the formula is just not my favorite. This one is the Smoky Glow palette. I did love this one, but I just have other palettes that I love more with this particular color story, so I'm gonna go ahead and let this one go. This one is the Gay Bestie palette from Jason Camarillo. He is a very, very small indie brand. It's a very pretty, deep, rich, neutral color story. I love this formula. This one I'm going to be decluttering. This is from Buzz Beauty. This came out of a No Make No Life box. This was a Japanese brand. I used it on camera. It's okay. It's just not very pigmented. Didn't blend very well. I'm going to let this one go. This is the It's Freakin' Bats palette collaboration with Bean and Shroud. She is Batty Bean now. This is a beautiful Beetlejuice inspired color story. This one is absolutely stunning. This one is the Tiny Marvels palette. I talked about this in my top 10 palettes of 2021. This was the collaboration between Mel Thompson and Sydney Grace. Mel passed away. This was her baby, and it is beautiful. If you have been following my channel for any amount of time, you've seen my last declutters, and you know all about these two. These were a Christmas gift for my daughter about 3 years ago. They came from Five Below. The formula is absolutely horrendous. It is so awful. But she was so excited about giving these to me, so I'm never going to let these out of my collection. This is the Exposed eyeshadow palette. So we have there. And this one is a bronzer contour palette. That's what we're working with there. This one is a Crown Pro palette. This was one of the very first palettes I ever got at a BoxyCharm. I love this color story. It's very pretty, peachy tones up in here. This is beautiful in the summertime, in the springtime. Yeah, this is beautiful any time of year. I love this. This one is from Haus Labs. This is the Love for Sale palette. This was my very first experience with a Haus Labs formula. I did a whole video with this palette. As you guys know, I loved it. I just thought it was so pretty, and the formula was just so beautiful. This one is the LA Girl Hey Hey Vacay palette. I love this packaging. This has a beautiful green and orange color story. I did a look with this palette and I loved it. I'm also hanging on to my Zoeva Spice of Life palette. It's just a beautiful little warm tone color story. This is really pretty in the fall. This is the Coming to America 2 by Uma Beauty. I will be hanging on to this one. This one is the Orange Pop. I don't remember where I found this or where I ordered this from, but it's just a beautiful orange color story. This one is Perfusion. This is the Rubies palette. This is my first experience with the Perfusion formula. I think I've only had a chance to use it once. I do want to play around with this a little bit more. This one I will be decluttering. This is from She Glam. It is a pretty color story. It's kind of got black and grays and some blues in it. It's not my favorite formula. I know that I'm not going to pull from this, so I'm going to go ahead and declutter this. I'm going to declutter this one as well. This is the Give Them Lala Beauty. I got this out of a BoxyCharm. I know one of my friends, Nona, she loves this formula, but I could not get it to work for me. I love the color story, but I just found this just not to have a lot of pigment. I felt like I had to really work to build it up, and I just had a hard time blending it out. I had a hard time with this palette. I'm also going to be decluttering this one. This is the Dolly Angel. This came out of a No Make No Life box last Christmas. The formula is kind of like in those two LA Colors palettes. I haven't used this. I think I've used this once, and that is it. I haven't pulled it out since, so it's time to let this one go. This one is my Lunar Beauty Moonspell Volume 2 palette. I love this one. This is the color story that we're working with. It's beautiful jewel tones. I wish I could have gotten Moonspell 1, but alas, it has passed me by. That was limited edition, so unless I order it in Macari or Poshmark, I'm never going to be able to get that one. This one is from Malibu Glitz. It is the Sherbet Dreams 35 color beauty palette. I got this one off of Shop Cherry. The color story kind of reminds me a little bit of the Ice Cream Dream palette that you will be seeing in a minute from Glamlight. I thought at first that it might be a dupe, but it's actually a lot different as far as the actual color story. But the formula in this is so beautiful. The mattes blend like butter. The shimmers are so creamy. This one is my Tati Beauty palette, Textured Neutrals. Unfortunately, Tati Beauty did close up shop, so this will be the only palette that we will be getting from this particular brand. And this is what the color story looks like in this one. This one is from Tarte. This is the Tarte Lip palette. This is the Juicy. I love this one. I just feel like this color story is just so pretty. Very, very soft neutrals. The shimmers are very, very soft. This smells like cake. I can smell it all the way from here. This is just a beautiful palette. 2,000 palettes down, 5,000 more to go. These are from Elf. I'm going to declutter this one. This is one of the bite-sized one. This is like that berry one. I never use this. It's not my favorite formula. This one I absolutely love. This is the Elf Chipotle palette. This was limited edition. I wish that it was a permanent collection. I am not a huge fan of Chipotle. I don't care about that. I got it for this color story. This formula is beautiful. The thing about Elf eyeshadows is that they're hit or miss. One palette can have a beautiful formula. The next one, it can be just dry and patchy and doesn't do anything. I don't know why their eyeshadows are so inconsistent, but this one was beautiful. And then this one is the Elf Jakissa to the Rescue palette. It's a very pretty rainbow palette. I really like this one. I don't know where Jakissa is now. She has not posted in months, so I don't know what's going on with her, but this was a beautiful palette. These two I'm going to be decluttering. This one is from Muse. It is the Love x4 eyeshadow palette. This one is all shimmers. This one made it through my last year declutter. It is pretty, but I have so many other shimmers in my collection that I love more, so I'm going to go ahead and let this one go. This one is from LA Colors. It is the Peach Fizz. This color story formula are okay, but it's not as pigmented as I would like it to be. I have that peach one from ColourPop that I enjoy more, so I'm going to go ahead and let this one go. This one is from Lila B. I have used this one a few times. The formula is just not exciting me. I'm just not impressed with it, but it is newer to my collection. So for that reason, I'm going to go ahead and hang on to it for a little bit longer, but this might end up getting decluttered before the next year's declutter. These two are my Beauty Bay palettes. I will be hanging on to both of these. This one is the Wilderness. This one has a lot of greens and reds. It's a really pretty kind of a jungle tropical theme. And then this one is the Age of Opulence. This was their holiday palette. This one has more purpley bluish jewel tones. Just absolutely stunning. These two are from Amuse. They are mini palettes. One is a shimmer, one is a matte. So that is the shimmer palette. The formula in these are so pretty. And this is the matte. All of these right here are from AOA Studios. I will be keeping all of these. I'm just going to run through them real quick and show them to you. These two are from the Orbit collection, Neptune and Mars. These two are from the Flower Child collection. We have Herb Garden and Bird Watching. I'm not sure which collection these are from, but they're just really pretty orangey, peachy tones. These two are really pretty as well. This one is matte, this one is shimmer. This is one of the Petal Play palettes from Flower Beauty. This is the Berrymore or something like that, but I'm going to be decluttering this one. It's an okay color story, but I do have berries and other palettes that I just love more. All of these are my Nomad palettes. I will be keeping them all. This one is the Home for the Holidays palette. This is their holiday palette for this year. This one is all shimmer foils except for this shade. This is the only matte. This one is the Fire and Ice palette. This has a lot of pretty icy blues. This one is the Tokyo Harajuku palette. I love this one. This is a pretty pastel palette. The shimmers in this one are absolutely amazing. This next one is the Cartagena Magica palette. I love the tropical theme of this one. This one is just a really pretty orange themed color story. You guys know how much I love orange. This one is the American Parks palette. This is the color story for this one. And then this one is the Haunted Europe. This was their Halloween palette. As you can see, there's kind of a shift there on the cover, which I thought was really cool. This is one of their bigger palettes. And then this is the color story. I love this grungy green right here. I thought this was perfect for Halloween, but that you can also use it during other times of the year. It's just a really beautiful grungy color story. These are all of my Glam Light palettes. I will be keeping all of them. This one is the Red Velvet Cupcake palette. It's not very, very red toned when you think about the fact that it is called Red Velvet, but the colors, the color story in here, the shimmers and everything, they're really pretty. These two are from the Cocktail Hour collection. There were 4 palettes altogether. These were the only 2 I got. Of these 2, I really like the Dirty Martini more, but this is the Wine. A lot of little purple tones in here. This is the Dirty Martini. This one has a lot of greens or some blues in here and some neutral browns. This one is the Ice Cream Dreams palette. This is one of my favorite in my entire collection. Like I was saying, that sherbet palette from Malibu Glitz kind of reminded me of this one. This one, however, there are a lot more pastel-y shades than are in that other color story or in that other Malibu Glitz palette. But these shimmers in this palette, you guys, they are stunning. They are so wet and creamy. Oh my God, they are beautiful. I have one little last stack and then we will be finished. This one I'm going to be decluttering. This is from Hershey's. This is from Etude House. I think I got this out of a Dieback box. It's a cute, kitschy little palette, but there's not much pigment going on, and it's not my favorite. I have 15% battery left. Let's see if we can get this finished before my battery dies. These two are from Kiko Milano. This one is from the Wonder Woman collection. Very, very pretty. This one is from that fruit collection. I like the fact that this looks like a kiwi. Definitely going to be hanging on to my Wayne Goss palette. This is the Luxury palette in Pearl Moonstone. Beautiful gray tones. I love this topper shade right here. These two are from Violet Voss. This one is Violet Sunset. This one came out of a BoxyCharm. This is a pretty color story. The formula is definitely better than that Essentials one that I got and that I decluttered last year. But I am going to declutter it only because I have these tones in other palettes. I know that I'm just not going to pull from this one, so we're going to declutter this one. This one I am going to be keeping. This is my Sakura Blossom. I love this one. These pink tones are just so stunning. These two are the Wet n Wild Color Icon palettes. I'm going to be hanging on to both of them. I've used this one. This one I got out of an advent calendar. I haven't had a chance to use it yet, but these are nice little 5-pan palettes. These two are also from Kiko Milano. This is part of the Dolce Diva collection. I really love this one. This shimmer right here has like a hint of green shiftiness to it. It's so pretty. And then this one is from this year's Soft Sable Holiday Collection. That is what we are working with there. These three are those monochromatic palettes from Essence. There were 6 altogether. These are the only 3 I got. We have the Coral Me Baby. That's what that one looks like. The Dancing Greens. That right there. Beautiful olive tones. And then this one is Bronzed This Way. Beautiful bronze, kind of gold and orange in here. These two are my Natasha Denona palettes. These came out of BoxyCharm. I will be keeping both of these. They're the only Natasha Denona palettes that I have. This one I'm going to declutter. This is from Joa. It's not a bad formula, but I never pulled from this. I don't think I've used this once since I got it. I used it in a trying on Joa makeup like last year. Color story is not awful. The formula is okay, but I know that I'm not going to use it, so I'm going to declutter this. And then the last palette, the very last one, is my Kimchi Chic X Naomi Smalls 2 Queens in a Desert. I love this one. Kimchi Chic is a Korean drag queen. And this is what this color story looks like. They're actually 2 columns. These are Naomi and then these are Kimchi. This whole formula is just so beautiful. I realized when I was doing my final tally that I forgot to go through these. So we're going to go through these real quick. These are like singles, little eyeshadow sticks. This is only going to take a second. All of these are ColourPop shadow sticks. I'm going to be decluttering all of them. I just don't like this formula. I don't feel like they blend up very well. I'm going to go ahead and let these go. These two I'm going to be keeping. These are from Pinky Rose. I got these out of a BoxyCharm box. I really like these. They're very creamy. These are good for just like quick all over shadow looks. These two I'm going to be decluttering. This one is from Hard Candy. This is a Metal Glaze. I got this from the Dollar Tree. I've had this for so long. I thought that it would be really pretty for like quick like metallic shades, but I never use this. I never pulled this. I'm actually going to go ahead and toss this because I've had this for a while and sure it's probably expired. Okay, this one is from Ciate London. I got this out of a BoxyCharm. I've never really used it. I don't know. It's kind of like a duochrome kind of a shade, but I think I've used it once and I don't know, it just didn't wow me. I mean, you can see the shift there. And it is pretty, but I don't use it like ever. These two I'm also going to be decluttering. I'm just going to go ahead and toss these. These are from In Studio. I've held onto these for so long. I didn't have shades like this anywhere else, so I've just been kind of hanging on to them for dear life. But yeah, it's time to let these go. These are all of my Super Shocks. I'm going to be hanging on to all of these. These 3 are from the Tinkerbell collection. So pretty. These 3 are from the latest Hocus Pocus collection. I really love this orangey one right here. And then this one was part of that Little Ray of Sunshine collection. This is a beautiful shiny wet gold. All right, guys. All right. So with my final tally, I started out with 196. This includes palettes, singles, shadow sticks, all that jazz. I'm keeping 152 and decluttering 43. Now, that's not like a huge, deep, savage declutter, but I did declutter everything that I wanted to move out of my collection. I have more space, I have more room, and that was the main reason for my decluttering. Still have a lot of palettes, but I know that the ones that I have, I'm actually going to be able to pull out and enjoy more now that I've gotten the ones that I'm not really going to use out of my collection. I hope you guys enjoyed my declutter series. I will drop a playlist in my description box of all my declutters and collection videos that I have filmed this year. I did do a series over the summer as well in case you want to check those out. Thank you guys so much for being here. Be safe, guys. Take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.